Hey guys, these videos for chapter 0 are meant to be short and sweet. So my goal is to really just get straight to the point because a lot of this should be review, but if it's not, don't worry, we can do more detailed learning in class, so just talk to me. So this is chapter 0, section 7, and we're looking at perimeter. As I take a look at the vocabulary words, I feel like you guys have seen all of this, but if you haven't, definitely take down the information we're going to talk about. So perimeter is the distance around something. So when you think about the perimeter, I want you to think about putting up a fence around a space. All right? So the perimeter is the distance around. A circle, and I'm sure all of you are familiar with that, is we have definitions of a circle. It's usually the collection of all points that are equidistant from a single point in a plane. But a circle for us is this roundy thing. All right, you guys know what it is. It's perfectly round, not like the thing that I just drew. When we have a circle, and let's draw this a little bit bigger. When I have a circle, right, I have parts of the circle that I need to keep in mind. And those parts of the circle are here. So for us, let's highlight diameter. And diameter is this yellow line right here. It goes directly through the center of the circle. It's straight and it touches either side. The circumference of the circle is going to refer to, in this case, let's use the right color, is going to refer to, it's kind of a red, this area around here. So circumference is honestly another name for perimeter, but it's the word that we use for perimeter when we're talking about a circle. The center of the circle is obvious. We've got this point here that's the center. So I can use red here and red here, so you keep that in mind. And finally, the radius, let's do that in purple, is the distance from the center to the edge of a circle. That's all you need to know. Okay, so as we consider these concepts, we're going to apply them to situations. So here it says, find the perimeter of each figure. The figures aren't drawn, so when the figures aren't drawn, I like to draw them, all right? So here's what we'll do. We'll read through the problem, we'll gather all information we need, and we'll draw. A rectangle with a length of 5 inches and 1 inch. We have to figure out the perimeter, so I like to draw it out. 5 inches and 1 inch looks like this. I know my rectangles aren't beautiful, don't mock me. All right, so 5 inches and 1 inch. What's the perimeter? Some people would quickly say 6 because you're only adding the numbers you see, but we got to remember this side is 1 inch as well, and the opposite side over here is 5 inches, and therefore you can see that the perimeter in this case is 12 inches. Again, perimeter is the total distance around the edges or the sides of a shape. All right, a square with the side length of 7, I think you guys know the deal. If a square has a side length of 7, that means all sides are of length 7. And so the perimeter for this, and I should put centimeters here, the perimeter for this is 28 centimeters because I am multiplying it by 4 or adding up all the 7s. Easy, easy. All right, so let's look at this next one. The perimeter of each, hold on. Okay, my bad, we didn't have shapes there. Now we do. All right, so we've got a parallelogram and a triangle, and we're taking a look at the perimeter of each. Real quick, a parallelogram is a four-sided figure where the opposite sides are parallel. So a rectangle happens to fall in the category of a parallelogram, but the sides don't have to be 90-degree angles. They can be slanted or whatever, as you see in this figure here. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because the parallelogram has similar properties as the rectangle, one of which is that the opposite sides are congruent, and that's what these hatch marks mean. Since one hatch mark is here and one is here, that means that these two sides are congruent, and since 2 are here and 2 are here, these are congruent. All right, I think by now this is pretty easy, and you probably already answered the question. So you know that these hatch marks means that I can put a 12 meters here and 14 meters here, and then I can get the sum of those sides and get 52 meters is the perimeter for the parallelogram. Similarly, I can add up the 3 sides of this triangle, and I get that the perimeter is 30 inches. All right, let's take a look at our final example. Final example, find the circumference to the nearest tenth of a circle whose radius is 4 feet. Again, the picture isn't drawn. I love drawing a picture to help me remember what to do. So you need the formula for getting the circumference of a circle, and that is 2 pi r, or pi, oh, let me do it this way, c equals pi times d, where r here is the radius and d here is the diameter. And if you take a look, since the radius is equal to half the diameter, or the diameter is equal to 2 times the radius, it makes sense that a 2 needs to be in this equation and a 2 does not need to be here. Think about it for a second, it'll make sense. All right, pi, we're going to use 3.14 as an approximation of pi, and we can calculate our value. So a circle whose radius is 4 feet, if the radius is 4 feet, the diameter would be 8 feet. So I can use c is equal to pi times d and do 3.14 times 8. Of course, I could use this other one since I was given the radius. I could say c is equal to 2 times pi times r, which is going to give me exactly the same thing, 2 times 3.14 times 4. You guys see that the 4 and the 4 times 2 and the 8 agree, and our final answer will be 25, I believe 25.12, right? Now check this out. We're talking about feet, so it's feet that we're going to put it in. However, they asked us to round to the nearest tenth. This is the tenth place, so it's really 25.1 since this number in the hundreds place is not above 5 or above. All right. Finally, a circle with a diameter of 15 centimeters. This is really straightforward. So basically, we're just going to do pi times d. Here's my circle. Here's the diameter. I can write that this is 15 centimeters. And so if I do circumference is equal to that, 3.14 times the diameter, which is 15, I get 47.1. And again, keeping my units centimeters. All right. I think that's about it for us. All right. So if you have any questions, let me know in class, but that should be all you need to handle section 07. Thank you.